Hello, so I just want to address the elephant in the room. Everyone was calling me and saying, what the hell was that on ITV News? You looked about 100 years old. You look like your nanny Bet, God rest her soul, and about 30 stone heavier. So let me just address the elephant in the room. This is how I look. I do work out. I'm a size 14, healthy. I am trying to tone my body up at the moment. I'm doing bar workout. It seems to be having an effect. I'm getting my waist back. Through the accident that I had where I was in a wheelchair for 5 months, nearly losing my leg, and major operations done to save my leg. I was in a care home. I had a breakdown over the loss of my mum, and then my leg drew me over the edge. But to be fair, it was more to do with my mum than my leg. When you love someone that much, you don't really care about yourself, and I didn't. My mum was my everything. We used to lay in bed together, and I'd massage her head or her feet to let the blood circulate to her heart. We'd watch Steptoe and Son together. The in-betweeners would just lay in bed, and we just loved each other. She was my mummy. And never had a bond like it, only with my son. So when I gave birth, the father of my child, I found out he was cheating the day I gave birth. I kicked him out of my house, even though we wasn't together living. I still kicked him out of my home and never had him back. I then gorged myself. I was 1.5 stone overweight when I fell pregnant. I was still 1.5 stone overweight when I gave birth. And then I gorged myself with lots of cakes and ate myself nearly to death. Went to Slimming World and actually said, your scales are broke, because I was that heavy. I lost 3 stone and I continued to keep losing weight. And then my mum died. I drank every day for a month. Got my act together. I had put on loads of weight because alcohol puts on weight. And looked like the honey monster again. And then when I was in the wheelchair, I thought there is no way I'm putting on any more weight while I'm in this wheelchair. I lost 2.5 stone while in the wheelchair with healthy eating, and have continued to do so. So that's that. Now, getting back to the other part of the story, the ITV News, they done their best. However, they didn't touch on anything that me and my son had properly talked about to them. And I just want to reiterate, the actual story is on a post I've done on here. I've got a brown vest top on and I'm talking about it. However, there's a couple of bits that I missed, i.e. one parent, when I found out she was talking about my son, and I, in a nice way, confronted her and said, look, if you're going to talk about my son, don't let me or my son hear it. He came home crying and heard it. So if you're going to talk about him or anything, then just don't let us hear it. And she then proceeded for 1.5 years to walk past me in the playground, hysterically laughing at me and goading me to punch her face in, which obviously that would have been easy to do, but then I would have been arrested and ruined my whole life and my chances of going to Disneyland. And at that point, I was saving for Disneyland. When I had the accident, I had to then break the news to my son. Not only is his nan died, who was like another parent to him, his dad, he doesn't have any contact with because his dad kept letting him down and he doesn't want to see his dad. So at that point, I've then had to tell my son, not only has his nan died, I'm in the wheelchair, I've had a breakdown. I didn't even know I was in a breakdown until I had a breakthrough and come out the breakdown. But I'm 5 months in this wheelchair. He's pushing me around in the wheelchair, helping me, with the shopping, etc. We had no one to help us. And now I'm having to tell him that Disney money that I saved 2.5 years, 3 years for, we can no longer go to Disney because Mummy has to pay bills with that money. And I also lost £900 giving it to the travel company because I hadn't took out travel insurance, and they said that they had to have £900 for cancellation purposes. So all this time it was like, yeah, we're going Disney, yeah, we're going Disney, all excited, knowing that my mum was going to pass away, and kind of knew that this would be a chance for him to enjoy something amazing because my mum was going to pass away. Then we couldn't do that because my money had to go on bills. I'm a single parent. So we really struggled. And then on top of that, he was being really horrifically bullied at that point. My mum had died, some terrible, terrible stuff. And I had that parent doing that to me. And then the school field trip, as I said, they was all standing around me. Oh, yeah, where do you fancy going? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Talking to each other like I'm really interested in listening in their boring lives. Not at all. And then at the end of the day, the assembly, what I failed to mention, and now I've left the school, I'm just going to open up and tell you all about it. Bit of juicy gossip in the playground. One couple who 5 years ago, when, you know, I was accepted and they were talking to me, this silly prat was saying, oh, yeah, when he passes his taxi cab knowledge, we're going to work for 5 years and then we're going to retire, because I'm a swimming teacher and a school teacher. And 5 years later, she's had an affair with a work colleague in the school. She's then gone on to split up with a work colleague after he has told everyone about how he hates her, his mother hates her, she's ruined the family, da-da-da. Then they both get back together. She has a baby with her original partner, who she cheated on. And then they're both staring at me in the playground. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? She looking at? I wasn't even looking at them. I was actually staring into the abyss, thinking how devastated I feel. At the last day of school, my mum wasn't there, because the first day of school she was there, supporting me and my son, taking him into the school, and now she wasn't there. So I certainly wasn't interested in their boring domestics of affairs and tribulations of, you know, them two, non-entity whatsoever to me, especially after, you know, their son had come out with, to my son, your black life don't matter, black lives don't matter, you're like cancer, you've got cancer. Yeah. And then the other couple that was standing next to him that are all arse-licky bum chums, I remember when I was taking my son rugby, like 10 in the morning, her husband was over the field and he was like, oh, I don't know how you're here this morning. Why? Well, she never got in till 7 in the morning. How have you here with a couple of hours sleep? And I'm thinking, actually, I never had a couple of hours sleep. I was in by 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So God knows where she's been all night for the last 7 hours on our parents' mum's night out. When she was telling everyone, see ya, oh, pissed, I'm going home. Where was she for 7 hours? Clearly not at home with her husband. Oh, I know, maybe she was pissed and fell into a bush somewhere. Really? Figure that one out for yourself. So I've got both couples who are like this, staring me at, what's she looking at? And then when it comes to my son stepping up and getting his book for the end of year, these 4 people never clapped my son getting up, but clapped everyone else getting up. Like, I even clapped their kids, you know what I mean? Even though their kids were nasty to my kids, not my kid. And basically, I just wanted to reiterate that relief is an understatement, that my son don't no longer have to go there. All the stuff that you want to hear about what he went through is on the other post that I done about a month ago. And I'm wearing a brown vest top, just to reiterate. And also what I want to say is since he's left there, the real anxiety is coming out, and the sadness and the tears and everything for what he's been through. And at the minute, it's really hard for me as a parent with him, because he's going through some kind of trauma, what he's experienced. So I'm hoping that he will eventually get over this, because people have reached out to me and said to me that their kids that was bullied from years ago are going through anxiety still and terrible stuff. So I really, really hope this helps parents whose kids are getting bullied, that you are not the only one, and just keep being strong and don't let any people get you down, keep being there for your son or your daughter. Peace out.